So that is just a quick show of the first build of Orchard. As you can see, we have here 100 trees which are procedurally generated. Each of them is unique. There is no mesh repeating, at least at the wall tree level. And we are at 144 FPS because it's VSync locked. In reality, we can probably go at around 250 FPS. That's probably close to 10,000 meshes displayed right now at once. All of them are instanced and each of them has its own properties. And as you can see, we can select each of the objects on the tree and it highlights even though there is 17 or so draw calls done on the scene. Thanks to instancing, each of the trees has its own colliders that are generated when they are required ad hoc. As you can see, we don't have big drops in frame rate when I'm generating a lot of the colliders. It's like 5 FPS drop. And basically that's all tech from Creatura. All of the plant generation, the DNA systems, the rendering system, the collider dynamic generating, it's all so far just yanked from Creatura to display this. The next step to make this work will be one more import from Creatura, so we can click on each of the node and just take the cuttings. And once this is done, I will begin the actual orchard-oriented implementations, which the first thing will be to make the trees generate in a way that makes sense for orchards, because as you can see, all the trees are really shown only right from three sides, so it works in Creatura where it's really 2.5D game and not in 3 dimensions. But yeah, the first actual implementation with the version, like let's say 0.0012 or 002, will be to create the actual plant structure and tree structure that we will use in Orchard. And as of now, we have working very barebone Creatura engine with still a lot of optimizations that are required to be implemented here. Like there's a lot of code that is useless for Orchard. For example, all of the colliders are generated constantly because in Creatura the plants would grow over time in the scene, and in Orchard this is not how the gameplay will be implemented, so we don't need that feature. So there is a lot of performance that still can be gained here, but it already works really decent. And one of the features that I have been working over last days, which is a huge improvement over Creatura, is actually, as you can see, the leaves in the game are really sprites. They are very simple mesh that contains maybe 8 polygons. By the way, as I've said, this is very barebone. There is no level of details, there is no culling. Like when I'm looking at this side, all the plants are rendered behind me. This is like as it is just pushed through the shaders to the GPU. So one of the features that is implemented here and isn't in Creatura is the fact that we have the leaves. And to select the leaf, we need to right-cast the collider, but because the colliders are only representing a general shape of the leaf, in normal situation, if I would be targeting this part here, This is still part of the collider, but because we have this new fancy system that basically looks up on the texture where is the alpha channel, we can tell that there is the alpha of this texture out on this UV coordinate is 0, so it's failing the riecast and it's not colliding with our player. So I can do, for example, look through this leaf and select this leaf while the collider is still much larger than the area of the texture. And it's not perfect, obviously, because if it would be quite a performance hog, but it's a big improvement over Creatura, where the selecting would be highly affected in situation like this. So yeah, basically that's what we get right now. And with the new version, we should get further and further away from the Creatura plant look. And hopefully we will get the actual orchard trees with the next update.